looks like we have a relegation scrap on our hands down at the foot of the table over in the Championship. And of course, don't get me started on the race for the playoffs. Who's going to take advantage this weekend? We'll take a little look next. Today we'll look forward to match number 39 over in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and hit your banger today. All things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We're all here, boys. And Warooski, a monster win for Blackburn Rovers this past midweek, of course, to get ourselves or remain in that top six, of course, as the others around us closing in very, very tight, of course, indeed, in the Championship race for the players. But again, of course, the big results were, of course, down the foot of the table with Barnsley moving ever closer to survival, and of course dragging the likes of Reading and co down the thick of things. We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs, the patrons, guys. Thank you for loving, of course, behind the scenes. But anyway, let's of course take a look back at how we all got on last time around then, shall we? Of course, out in the Championship, of course. These are the results coming at you. Of course, Bournemouth against Reading was a draw. Goodness gracious me. What are they doing? What are they doing at the top of the table? Meanwhile, Birmingham, they lost at home to Middlesbrough. Of course, bounce back ability for Borough. Meanwhile, Rovers, of course, bounce back ability for a long time. Of course, we waited for one goal. We got three. Heavens forbid. 3-1 win over Derby. Of course, Barnsley with the 2-0 over Bristol City. Monster win for them at home. Forest, of course, doing their bit to get themselves in the playoff hunt with a 3-1 win over QBR. West Brom, of course, 1-0 winners over Fulham. I think I did say something like this. I didn't think West Brom would lose this game. And it's been on the cards, I think, for Fulham. And we'll have a look at the table in a minute. Of course, Blackpool, of course, 0-0 against Sheffield United, one with a 1-0 win myself. Cardiff picked up a 2-1 win over Stoke City. I saw that one coming as well. Meanwhile, Coventry did lose 2-0 at home to Hull City. Bit of a surprise down the foot there. Millwall smashed or dashed over the 2-0 win over Huddersfield Town. Luton, though, smashed or dashed up 4-goal winner over Preston North End to keep their dreams alive as well. And Peterborough, 3-2 loss to Swansea. Goodness gracious me, a lot of goals in that game, but of course, no points for Peterborough. This is the table as it looks like. It could have been much closer for Bournemouth. They do have 2 games in hand. If we win both of those, they go up to 69, 72 points as well, which will be just 5 points adrift of Fulham. But realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think so anyway. Of course, but Monster dropped points there for Bournemouth, and of course Huddersfield also losing, which has given Rovers fans like myself a bit of hope that we might be able to squeak a little bit closer towards the top two there. But yeah, just the fact that we scored and managed to get the win, that's the monstrous result for us. Down the foot of the table, of course, Barnsley. They are now just 2 points adrift off Reading. Birmingham and Hull City, you probably think they were safe at the moment, but to be honest, it's probably 4 from 3 or 3 from 4 at the bottom there. Peterborough look like they're gone. Derby trying to fight, but of course they could be going down. And will it be Barnsley or will it be Reading? That's what I think at the moment. And of course the race to the playoffs is well and truly still on, with anybody down from maybe Coventry took a bit of a dent there. West Brom, of course, looking to get themselves back into it. They'll need to keep doing what they're doing. And of course they've got now unbeaten in 3 games, our West Brom. So you'd think they're still in it, but it's been a bit tight. And of course Swansea, yeah, a little bit too far to go there for Swansea. They do have 2 games in hand on the likes of Blackburn Rovers, and of course Huddersfield Town. We've played 38 games, they've played 36. Win both of those, up to 53 points. So yeah, they're still there, hanging on in there. But of course, I would say at a stretch, probably 15th and up are still in that relegation, in that playoff race. And of course, anyone below Swansea are are either safe or in that relegation scrap a little bit. I'll probably say Stoke, Cardiff, Bristol City are probably safe. Hull, Birmingham, maybe got a little bit of a flavour left in their season. Of course, it's the prediction league. Well done to you guys. Kicking ass, Hans Worst, Max Wiggins, of course, Russell Frost, Damien Heaven, and of course, A. Judy with 6 bins there. Well done to you guys for kicking ass and taking names this past week. What about the grand old scheme of things? This is the mini leaderboard. Of course, Shane O'Donnell is running away with it. 87 points on the board, just 3 points clear of Hans Worst right now. 37 is in 3rd. And again, you probably look at the top 10 here that have got realistic chances of winning the mini leaderboard again. Next time you see me after this one, of course, we'll be back in the month of April. Of course, we'll bring you back up to date with the master leaderboard to see who's actually winning the competition at the moment. Anyway, California Championship, if you want to get involved, it's still free to enter. Yes, you can't win it, but of course you can still win. Predictor of the month for April, predictor of the month for May, ish, I think we'll do one for me. I don't know. But anyway, get involved, free to enter, get in amongst it as well. So here are the games, of course, coming at you with a weekend, which is a little bit interrupted via the FA Cup. So they are all here, all the games that were scheduled originally for this match day, but not all of them would take place. So we're going to take a look at them. I think there might be 8 games, 2, 4, 6, 8 games out of the 12. So 4 of these are not going to take place, but we'll have a look. I'll put picks in there anyway, but we'll go with it. So Bristol City taking on West Brom, coming at you on a Saturday, March the 19th. Now, these two sides, I've pictured 18 times since 1983, 4 wins for Bristol City, 10 wins for West Brom, and 4 draws. Of course, Bristol City, though, won 2 of the last 6, 33% form up against the West Brom side, unbeaten in the last 3, now 42% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time I played each other over at Thrashton Gate, it was a 3-0 win for West Brom. That was back in February 2020. The reverse fixture this season down the Hawthorns was a 3-0 win for West Brom. West Brom have actually won 3 in the bounce against Bristol City, just conceded 1 goal over the last 3 as well. Of course, Bristol City did lose to Barnsley on the road, with West Brom picking up 1 win over Fulham. The odds on this one, I do expect Fulham to bounce back. Sorry, not Fulham, West Brom to bounce back here. 11-4 is your Bristol City, 21-20 is your West Brom, 23-10 is your draw. So the bookies are also back in West Brom. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win on the road, West Brom, and they might just get themselves back in the thick of things here for our race for the playoffs. Derby County, that's right, they're going to be taking on Coventry. That's of course taking place on Saturday, March the 19th. It's the early kickoff. In fact, one of 2 early kickoffs over at Pride Park. Now these two sides have played each other 33 times since 1996. 11 wins for Derby, 12 wins for Coventry, and 10 draws for the moment. Derby, though, just 1 win in the last 6, 17% form, just 1 win in 5 for Coventry City, 42% form for them at the moment. Last time around, though, over at Pride Park, it was a 1-1 draw. That's back in December 2020. The reverse fixture over the Rico was a 1-0 win for Coventry City as well. So Coventry unbeaten against Derby over the last 4, picking up 2 wins and 2 draws. But they come into this on the back of that 2-0 loss against Hull City at home. Meanwhile, Derby did lose to Blackburn Rovers, 3-1 loss at Ewood Park midweek. Meanwhile, coming at you, it's 21-10 is your Derby, 29-20 is your Coventry, and 21-10 is your draw. The bookies are back in Coventry here. I'm going to go with Derby County here with a 1-0 win. Yes, of course, Kazim Richard is out, I believe, but I still think they've got a bit of fight left in the tank, especially at Pride Park, especially with the fans behind them. I think they'll roll them on to a 1-0 win in the end. Fulham against Forest will not take place. That's a spicy little game that we'll have to look forward to another time. But if it was to take place right here, right now, I would have went with a win for Fulham, 3-1 win in the end. But of course, Forest will be preoccupied with the FA Cup. Meanwhile, same can be said for Middlesbrough. They'll also be preoccupied. I think they've taken on Liverpool as well. Or was it Forest taking on Liverpool? But anyway, regardless, Middlesbrough 2-0. They kept taking on Chelsea. I would have went with Middlesbrough this weekend over Cardiff, but of course we'll have to wait and see. And again, you never know. Actually, it might be a blessing, might be a curse for whoever is in the playoff race for that games. Those 2 games to be postponed, pushing forward, and of course after be played later on. Maybe there's some scenario, some suspensions that of course will play into the hands or against the run of play for these 2 sides, Fulham and Middlesbrough and Forest. So it might be a blessing, it might be a curse. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, the game of the weekend, of course, will be Reading up against Blackburn Rovers at the Matchday. We will have a watch along. I'll have a preview as well for this game, so make sure you stick around for those. Played each other 19 times, these 2 sides, 6 wins for Reading, 8 wins for Rovers, and 5 draws, of course. Reading, though, haven't won in the last 4 games, 42% form for them. As for Rovers, 42% form for them also, won 2 of the last 6, just 1 defeat past 3 for them. It's not really great, though, to be honest, but we don't look at it too much. Of course, last time picture over at the Reading, over at the Matchday, it was a 1-0 win for Reading. That was back in March 2021, of course. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture over at Rovers at Ewood was a 2-0 win for Blackburn back in, of course, October this season. Reading with a 1-1 draw against Bournemouth, Rovers with a 3-1 win over Derby. And of course, the odds for this one, we got Reading coming at you 20-10 for the 11-8 is your Rovers, 11-5 is your draw. I'll talk more about it in the preview. Make sure you check that out. But of course, I'm going to go with a win for Rovers here, and hopefully 3 monstrous points heading into the international break for Rovers, and of course regrouping afterwards. But anyway, 2-1 win in the end for Rovers to take to the house. Huddersfield Town up against Bournemouth, bit of a zinger chicken, did it? Second up against third. Of course, now these 2 sides have played each other 25 times since 2004. 7 wins for Huddersfield, 10 wins for Bournemouth, and 8 draws. Of course, Huddersfield without a win in 3 now. 58% form up against the Bournemouth side, just 1 win in 4 for them, 67% form for them. At the moment, last time they played each other over at the McAlpine John Smith's Kirklees, it was a 2-1 win for Bournemouth. That was back in April 2021. The reverse fixture over at the Vitality was a 3-0 win for Bournemouth back in the day. Huddersfield haven't won since 2018, and that was in the Premier League when both these 2 sides were there, of course. Meanwhile, of course, Huddersfield did lose to Millwall. Of course, Bournemouth picked up a draw against Reading at home, might I add. Kicking off forward, the odds for this one, 90-10 is your hosts. 64 is your away win. 23-10 is your draw. Back, of course, the draw here. 1-1 in the end. Point split. Nobody really taking advantage of that one. And maybe a couple of clangers in the end. Meanwhile, Hull City up against Luton Town. Let's get into this one over at the KCOM. Now, these two sides have played each other 9 times in 2004. 4 wins apiece and 1 draw. Hull just 1 defeat plus 4 for them. 50% form. That's 1-2, lost 2 and drawn 2. Meanwhile, Luton, of course, 1-3, lost 3. 50% form for themselves, of course, heading into this one. Last time played over at the KCOM was a 1-0 win for Luton. That was back in July 2020. The reverse fixture at Kenilworth Road this season was a 1-0 win back in October. Kicking off forward the Hull with a 2-0 win over Coventry. That's back-to-back clean sheets for them. Luton, of course, coming to us on the back of that 4-0 win over Preston. Wow, wow, wee wow. 2-1 is your Hull. 7-5 is your way with this Luton. 23-10 is draw. I think I'm going with the draw here right down the middle. I cannot separate the two sides. Hull are unpredictable, so are Luton. So I'm going to go with the draw myself. 1-1 right down the middle. Kicking off forward, Preston are hoping to bounce back. And, of course, they were scheduled to take place up against Blackpool. And I can't see it for whatever reason. Why would this game be postponed? I'm going to try and find it anyway. We'll take a long, hard look at it. I don't know why it's not here. But Preston over at Deepdale, scheduled, or were, maybe it's been pushed forward a little bit. Maybe it's been pushed to... I honestly don't know. We'll see. So it is scheduled, or was scheduled to take place, but it's been shifted to April. Tell me, I don't know. I don't know why. What's the logic behind that? But anyway, let's talk about it just in case I'm wrong. Now, these two sides have played 8 times in 2007. 2 was for Preston, 3 for Blackpool, and 3 draws. Of course, just 1 win and 6 though for Preston right now. 42% form up against the Blackpool side. Unbeaten in the last 4. They're looking pretty good at the moment. Just 1 defeat by 6 of them. 67% form for them at the moment. Last time I played over at Deepdale in the league, it was a 0-0 draw back in February 2010. It was in the Championship. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture at Bloomfield Road was a 2-0 win for Blackpool. Coming at you though, Blackpool with a 0-0 draw against Sheffield United. Of course, back-to-back clean sheets for them. In fact, 3 clean sheets on the spin up against the Preston side, who haven't scored in back-to-back games themselves. Again, I got no odds on this one. I don't know why it's been postponed, but it has been or been moved. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Preston if it was to go ahead. But again, I don't think it is. Meanwhile, kicking off was QPR up against Peterborough, coming at you at Loftus Road, of course. Last time I played you. In fact, these two sides have played each other 10 times on 3 for QPR, 4 for Peterborough, and 3 draws, of course. Just what are we looking at here? QPR 1 win and 4 for them, 42% form up against the Peterborough side, who of course haven't won the last 11 games, 17% form for them at the moment. Last time I played you over at Loftus Road, it was a 2-0 win for QPR. That was in the EFL Cup back in August 2018. However, last time I played in the league was in the Championship. It was back in 2009. It was a 1-1 draw. The reverse fixture, of course, down at Peterborough was the 2-0 win for Peterborough. That was back, in fact, it was a 2-1 win for Peterborough. That was back in October 2021. And they also played in the FA Cup as a 2-0 win for Peterborough as well. They were on for a 3-peat here. Can they get the clean sweep against a QPR? Monstrous clean sweep it would be. 3-1 loss, of course, QPR for this one. Last time around against Forest, of course, Peterborough lost 3-2 on the road. At home against Swansea. The odds for this one, 2-1 on is your QPR, 60-5 is your draw, 11-2 is your away. I'm backing QPR for the win, but of course, haven't looked at that. 3 wins on a spin for Peterborough on the line here. They like playing against them, or they have been so far. They could go for the hat-trick, and we'll see about that. Kicking off forward is a bit of a Yorkshire affair. Sheffield United against Barnsley. It's the early kickoff, and of course, Barnsley are looking good at the moment. Sheffield United a bit wobbly. Now, these two sides have played each other 30 times since 1994. 9 wins for Sheffield United, 9 wins for Barnsley, and 12 draws, of course. Just 1 win in 5 for Sheffield United, 50% form up against the Barnsley side. Just 1 defeat. About 6 for them, 67% form for them at the moment. They are on the bloody survival hunt. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I thought they were gone. I thought they were goners, and I'm happy for Barnsley. I'd love to see them stick around. Meanwhile, coming at you, last time I played over at Bramall Lane was a 1-0 win for Sheffield United. That's back in August 2017 in the Championship. The reverse fixture at Oakwell was a 3-2 win for Sheffield United. Of course, the Blaze coming to this on the back of a 0-0 draw. Of course, Barnsley with a 2-0 win over Bristol City. The odds 15-8 on Sheffield United, 11-2 is your Barnsley, and 3-1 is your draw. I think I'm going to go with just narrowly gone with Sheffield United, but I really hope Barnsley can pull it off for both them and for us, of course. Kicking off forward, it's Stoke. It is, of course, Millwall is the Gary Rowett derby. Is it the Gary Rowett? That was the Nathan Jones derby, or it's the Gary Rowett? That's what I'm talking about. It's the Gary Rowett derby. Of course, Gary Rowett currently managing Millwall, formerly of course, Stoke for a period, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I'm right. Anyway, played 22 times in 1993. 9 was to Stoke, 7 was to Millwall, and 6 draws. Of course, Stoke without a win in the last 9 games. Goodness gracious me. Meanwhile, Millwall coming to this unbeaten, of course, at least the last 6. It's probably more than that now. 83% for them at the moment. Last time I played over at the Bet 365 was a 2-1 win for Millwall. It was back in April 2021. The reverse fixture at, of course, the Den. It was a 2-1 win for Millwall as well. Millwall unbeaten against Stoke over the last 6 or 7 matches here. I think the last time they lost was a 1-0 loss to Stoke in Stoke in December 2018. Meanwhile, of course, coming at you, Stoke with a 2-1 loss to Cardiff last time around. Of course, Millwall pick up a 2-0 win over Huddersfield, and they've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5 games without conceding a goal. They're looking red hot at the moment. Team to avoid as well. Bookies odds go in favour of Stoke. They are the favourites, of course. Millwall are the underdogs for whatever reason. Everyone's backing against them. I'm going with a 0-0 draw here. Another clean sheet and another point in the bag for Millwall. Not survival, but playoffs is well on track at the moment for Millwall. Meanwhile, of course, Swansea up against Birmingham, of course, coming at you over in Wales. Now, these two sides have played each other 12 times, 2008, 4 wins apiece and 4 draws as well. Meanwhile, Swansea have won 3, lost 3, 50% form up against the Birmingham side, of course, just 1 win, and the past 6 for them, 32% form for them at the moment. Last time they played each other over in Swansea, it was a 0-0 draw back in September 2020. The reverse fixture over at St Andrews was a 2-1 win for Birmingham back in the day. Kicking on forward, though, the Birmingham picked up a 2-0 loss against Middlesbrough and have scored in back-to-back games. Swansea with a 3-2 win over Peterborough. Lastminute.com survival game there, of course, coming from nowhere to win it. The bookies odds for this one, we have Swansea 20-79 for the Richie 13-5 is draw, 10-3 is your away win here. Back, of course, the Welsh here with a 2-0 win for them, and of course Birmingham might be in a bit of trouble if they don't start getting their act together, and of course if the likes of Barnsley and co start to close in on that. My friends, is it. Be sure to get your own picks as well. cut4/championship, and again we'll be back following these games in after the international break, so make sure you come back for that. But until then, guys, smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe. See you soon for the next one, of course. Come on, Rovers, let's make it back-to-back wins, and of course let's remain in the top 6 heading into the month of April. But until then, guys, I'll see you soon. Smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe. Until then, we're done right now.